Welcome everyone. Pine Grove News Live. 6:01 p.m. here on the East Coast. And after a heavy rain today, we do have cloudy skies. Well, they did call for rain. They did. But it's not the clouds I remember. I saw them coming in. I even took pictures again of them, and I need to show you some of them later. One of them, another something that I caught. Strange, very unusual, and need to get your opinion on it. And no, this time it was not a bug on the windshield. No, not this time. I took it outside while I was taking these other pictures. But anyway, oh, other than that, uh, all I know, man, is everyone, you keep on the correct path and we're all going to be okay. All I can say. We're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. Um, and I do have one question. You know, everyone has different opinions. I guess you could call it doctrinal thing when it comes to the tribulation, pre-trib, or the rapture. I mean, I'm sorry, the rapture. You know, has a lot to do with tribulation. Do you believe in a pre-tribulation? Do you believe in a mid-trib, post-trib? Do you believe, as Jan Markell called it, the wrath of God, tribulation day, last day? I'm kind of hoping for a pre-trib. I know that we're in the days or the times of sorrows. So I've kind of figured it out somewhere along the line that yes, we do go, and it does include, tribulation. And believe me, the tribulation we've been going through could be a lot worse. It could be great tribulation. And so the word that they want to use when they want to, put a stamp on this pre-trib that I found was the word wrath. Okay? Because, yeah, I do not believe that we are appointed to wrath. Wrath being God's great anger coming in the last day. We know what goes on in Revelations, and the church is not here, at least not all of them. I should say most of them are not here. There will be some saints on that last day that will go home, that have lived through all that, even the great tribulation. It says that there will be some. In any case, people tend to pick the pre-tribulation because it definitely, gets us out of here before the really, really heavy stuff comes. And so you have to determine to yourself what that heavy stuff is because it's different for everyone. Some people just can't handle some things more than others can handle, and so the word wrath. Okay, I'm pretty sure that when Jesus died on the cross, especially when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, when he was holding this cup in the garden, he was, that point where he was actually sweating blood, and he was praying to his Father, that this cup, he'd rather not. I don't know. He really didn't want to after he saw what he was going to go through or knew what he was going to go through. And that, what everyone wants to know, because some people just aren't sure what that cup of that he was holding in Gethsemane that made him bleed, sweat, blood, I believe was the wrath of God. That final day when he was going to be up there on the cross, and for the first time in forever, Jesus was going to be separated from his Father. And actually, his Father was going to kill him because he had to defeat death. And by dying on the cross for our sins, so that they can always be forgiven, because otherwise we would all die. Because the punishment for any sin is death. Doesn't matter what it is. But I believe that was, God instilled all his wrath, all his anger, and whatever onto Jesus that day. That's what Jesus was sweating blood about. That and the separation from his Father for 3.5 days. Well, I guess he was in hell for a couple of those days or something like that. We know that story. So yeah, there's to think that anybody could. Well, they put wrath in the middle of the tribulation. 3.5 days. Well, I don't know exactly how it works. All I'm saying is that these pre-tribbers, claim that we definitely, I'm gonna get a little. We definitely could not. I don't see how anybody could think that the church can withstand God's wrath for any amount of time. So to think that you can, what they do is they put this wrath in the middle of or before tribulation. And so because we're not entitled to this wrath and the fierceness of it, I mean, it's just for the end, the last day. And so they put that word. Now, I looked through a whole bunch of Bibles. I was listening to somebody on, about these bowls and these seals and all this other stuff. And they put that word wrath in where they were talking about, being raptured up. And because we can't go through it, so they put it in there. So obviously we can't go through wrath. So they, we're obviously going to be, if you put it that way, we're going to be pre-tribbed out because we're not set to receive that type of wrath. The church is, anyway. Like I said, I looked through many Bibles. It wasn't the King James Bible. I looked all around. I did find out what it was, but at this moment, because I just I don't remember what Bible it was from, but I have like 15, something like that, Bibles, and it wasn't in any of them. So I'm sure you can go and find some Bible somewhere along the way that will change that word to wrath. And that's tribulation. Tribulation could also be turned into wrath. In one instance, in another Bible, there's so many other words that mean the same thing as tribulation. And you'd have to go word search that yourself. And maybe I can come up with a better explanation for you later on. But tribulation was the key. And to say that we're not to, go through that and change the tribulation to wrath so that they could make their pre-tribulation, sound legitimate. That is my only problem with the pre-trib. I hope that we do go. I don't want to see any more suffering that I'm already seeing now. And unfortunately, we're going to see it. Okay. So with that in mind, get on with the news. After all, that's what you came here for. I go to the news. Okay. Got any questions? I mean, let me know. Go look for that word wrath I had this written down somewhere, and I don't know why I brought it up, except for the fact that, these particular people who are always together, I have nothing against them. They're surely God-fearing people. And the problem is that, you know, each one has its own doctrine, and I am getting pretty tired of. It's not that I'm being tossed around with each and every doctrine. I was a while ago, yeah. So what we learn, you know, but why can't we just all be of one mind? We're supposed to be. We're supposed to be of one body, one mind, and I'm going to be praying for that. I always pray for that. And to see these differences in doctrine and people even go to the point of offending somebody purposely or taking offense, it just brings up a lot of things that shouldn't be going on in Christ's body. That's all I can say. I hope and pray that it changes. With that, you know, and of course we always have weather and other stuff first, so we can go to this in Watchers. This was out over the weekend because my old watchman told me about this over the weekend. He calls me up even though he knows that I don't do news on the weekend, just to tell me he's done news. And so this was part of something he mentions, and the title here is Tar and Natural Gas oozing onto sidewalk near L.A. Bray tar pits, Los Angeles, California. And we talked about, I mean, you remember that movie that they came out with something like that? It was in L.A. I think that it was called Volcano. Who did that guy? I can't remember his name. He was in The Fugitive. He was the cop, and he did the, you know, U.S. Marshal, a couple movies with that. He's a well-known actor, but I just can't remember his name. Sometimes I just do that. So tar and what appears to be natural gas has sprung to ooze onto the sidewalk. Here's a video down here that I have not listened to yet. But let's put this up here first. Okay, we'll put that up there, and then we'll get right back to it. So,
Well, I was just going to say that. What a mess out here. This puddle of tar just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Let me move out of the way. You can see some cones have been put up around it, but the tar is now seeping past the cones, and we're hearing a hissing sound that sounds like natural gas coming through. And I can tell you, we're also smelling the tar right now. If we can go to some video from earlier, we are right across the street from the La Brea tar pits, which is a national natural landmark where natural tar has been seeping up from the ground for thousands of years. Now,
okay, and just remember that you're not going to be able to smell the gas. They actually put in that smell later on. Yeah. Apparently that was my alarm and my daughter. Yeah, this is why I need some kind of booth or something, soundproofing. Somebody give me an idea of how I can do that. We don't hear dogs barking and sons or daughters screaming at them. So yeah, gas does not smell. It's an additive so that you can tell after it's obviously distributed. So anyway, what's going on there, right? No, you got enough things going on in L.A. with homeless people and the rats and the typhus, whatever that is. Possibility of Ebola, could be released there. Who knows? Just remember, and most of this stuff is because of unsanitary conditions, the people living outside. I mean, there are so many people there that I hear that some people leave their excrements right out in the open. Could be a little bit more discreet, but I don't know. That's another story, another problem. Heavy rain, hail, and strong winds hit south, southwest, and east China, leaving at least 7 people dead there. So, I remember last year China getting, and the Philippines and anyone else over there in that direction, numerous typhoons that hit. Of course, we won't know the totality of the damage in China because, they don't report those things. Report some of them. They won't report all of it because it'll give out too much information. Just another one of those countries where you can't take a whole lot of pictures, at least the ones that count. Also, deadly flash floods hit Queen Department. 80. These 4 people have died there. 4 others are missing, and heavy rain produced severe flash flooding. And that was, yeah, late last week. I gotta make some decisions to make about this contributor. Heavy rain floods North Carolina, state of emergency declared. U.S. This was reported yesterday. So at least 3 people have been killed after a slow-moving storm dumped extremely heavy rain on parts of the southeastern United States over the past couple of days. And this one, we knew about this one before, but so this is kind of an update. NOAA predicts a very large 2019 dead zone for the Gulf of Mexico. Now, we knew that. We covered that, wow, probably over a year ago. This is a well-known dead zone. It's just, well, we'll just read it down here instead of taking my word for it. NOAA scientists, see, dead zones are areas of low to no oxygen that can kill fish and other marine animals. Considered one of the world's largest, the Gulf of Mexico dead zone occurs every summer, but this year is expected to be close to record size. Let's see. Yeah, this past May, discharge in the Mississippi and Atchafalaya rivers was about 67% above the long-term average. Well, that was another story. Mississippi, yeah, this was still rising, and they have a story out there. Something I think I might have it about the barges, other things going on. Well, we'll stop for a minute to go to this one from the Los Angeles Times. Southern California earthquake swarms takes an unexpected turn, and that's reason to worry. I mean, if you can see this on YouTube, let me go check and see if I'm on YouTube. Just yeah. Okay, so see the chart. I mean, look at the area of where these swarms are, and it's, it doesn't travel too far. I mean, kind of weird too, but I don't know. So if you live in Fontana, you wouldn't be blamed if you felt the case of jitters. Swarm of earthquakes has shown remarkable staying power in the area around the southern California city. Caltech seismologist Egil Hawkson said the chance that the series of tremors will turn into a large and destructive quake isn't particularly high, but that doesn't mean residents shouldn't be on their toes. The likelihood of a larger seismic event, given how many quakes that have occurred over such an extended period, is higher than normal. Yeah, I mean, that's how we guess we've been told that, a bigger earthquake could be on its way. And when you have, smaller ones going off, some of them maybe, getting bigger over time. And then the big one hits, and then after that, you're going to get, tremors after that, which normally, tremor down. And so This from Strange Sounds, rare 4.0 earthquake hits near Cleveland, Ohio, in Lake Erie. Almost 6,000 people report feeling the quake. Yeah, my brother, he's watching those things too. I got an email from him. Yeah, very rare. So, Jesus said in diverse places. So this, let's see, hit near the Ohio coast in Lake Erie around 10:50 a.m. today. Tremors were felt as far away as Canberra Township, Pennsylvania, nearly 99 miles away. A little bit less than 6,000 people have reported, like we said, the earthquake on the USG page. Oh. And there's more details. That's from Fox 8. And let's go on. Yeah, also from Strange Sounds, and they changed their page. I don't know if I like this better or not. Kind of like the other one better. I do like the black and white, but I don't know. So this report is of a 130-foot asteroid. Has a 1 in 7,000 chance of hitting Earth this fall, and that's pretty close. This fall, Earth has, let's see, getting an uninvited extraterrestrial visitor asteroid. I might have an article here too about the some kind of asteroid field is coming. It normally comes in June. So 2006 QV89 measures 130 feet, 40 meters in diameter, and is expected to whiz by our planet on September 9th, 2019. Compared to the 6-mile long, 10-kilometer asteroid that killed the Nanavian dinosaurs about 66 million years ago, 2006 QV89 is pretty dinky, measuring just 130 feet in diameter, or about the length of 2 bowling alleys placed end to end. So the ESA is monitoring the asteroid's route, but the space rock is unlikely to careen into Earth. Well, they always say that. They tell you a 1 in 7,000 chance, which is, pretty good by astronomical, measures. It's pretty darn close. So, go to the JPL, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and, watch it there. Not coming until September 9th, but that's not that far away. 2 months, 2.5 months now. It's already the 10th of June. Flies by. Facebook flags post on Christian prayer by Blaze TV's Graham Allen as hate speech. And I don't know if I, put it up here, but yeah, Mr. T definitely tweeted out there that he told Twitter anyway to stop with the blocking and whatever else they're doing. He basically told Twitter and any other of the social arenas, social platforms, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's pretty bad. But this is part of our, this is part of our persecution. Well, we could pray against it, of course. It'd be great to, not have some of these things that need to be said or prayers that need to be heard or agreed with. So, praying was flagged by Facebook for violating, the site's, whatever. I don't want to get into that because their idea, they could say, there's their community standards, and they won't give you a reason why. My platform obviously has been down probably a year as of this month, or probably last month. And I still go in there from time to time and try to get it reinstated. There was no reason for them to do what they did to me. All I was doing was repeating the news that was already out there. That's all I was doing. It may have been a title or something that I put in there that may have been flagged. But it wasn't even flagged. I mean, they demonetized me, and then they started giving me a strike on one account for copyright that was not. But anyways, and then they went, two strikes out, and then they took the other channel and gave it three strikes automatically, took it out, and said I could not ever have a channel on there again. Pretty brutal for doing what everyone else is doing out there. But in any case, I expect those things. That's the trials we have to go through. Just hope, like somebody said today, it builds patience. It definitely does build patience. Anyway, the war continues there too. It's spiritual war. So this is an update. According to end time headlines, Mississippi River reaches dangerous flood levels. Stalls barges and roadways while affecting farmers. Yeah, farmers. It's bad enough that these farmers dealing with the government and other means, and now they got these things. I mean, the weather is always for or against the farmers. Obviously, it's just part of a thing I'm trying to put together. Um, Big uptick in farmers committing suicide. Big uptick in most every suicide category that you want to talk about. Teens, policemen. There's more policemen that die of suicide than a policeman dying on the job anyway. Not a big number, but it's big enough. There shouldn't be any. And then you got the farmers, and what about all the other people? Category that is everything else. I have a lot of those stats, and I'll be doing that soon. Working on that one about the Constitution and Patriot Act and all that stuff. Kind of in the middle of two, but I'm going to get that latter one out faster because it's more important. Yeah, so hundreds of barges carrying cargo up and down the water artery have been stalled, and I understand that. I mean, they got plenty of water. So, well, that's because there's what are those distribution or warehouses, whatever, that load the barges or unload the barges. That's the only reason I can think, because when the Mississippi was lower, barges couldn't get up to these warehouses or distribution plants, whatever they are. They couldn't get up to them to load or unload the barges. So now they're having the opposite problem here. Yeah, Alaska. Kind of worried about this one because this is the second time. I don't know if I heard it from, bunny rabbits, these hares. Okay, I thought it was from some other animal, maybe a deer or something like that. But a lot of these are these diseases. They kind of sometimes get on animals, the beast, of the Bible, and they can't transmit them to humans. But apparently now it's becoming evident that it is becoming more transferable. So Alaskan officials are warning these hares could spread this deadly disease to people and pets. I haven't really found out what disease that they're talking about. Just any? Yeah. They received calls about an abundance of hares, some of which were dead in the Fairbanks area. The dead hares could have possibly contracted an infectious disease known as tularemia. 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 disease, which is caused by the Encelica telanissus bacteria. Okay, whatever. Pretty much killed that one. So it is most often diagnosed in hares and pets in the interior between Memorial and Labor Day because it's spread by hare and vole ticks, which are active during the summer. Yes, there's a lot of them out there already, we've noticed. Okay, especially with all the, I don't know if rain has anything to do with their increase, the ticks. I know it does with mosquitoes, but we go hiking in the woods, and second to the last time we went out, yeah, the kids had a few of them on them. Yeah. You want to make sure that you wear socks when you're going hiking, and definitely, check your shoes. Good to wear long pants if you can take it, unless you're in the hiking trail and it's open. Things you gotta, prepare for that because you get Lyme disease. You know, you get infected with Lyme disease. I mean, I don't know if it's curable or not, but I know you have to go through stages of needles, injections, something. So very painful. You check for ticks. But it's just another case of diseases transferring over to humans, and we have to be wary of that as well, unfortunately. Didn't have to worry about it before, but we're hearing about it now. So this is what also I was talking about. This this little known meteor shower this month could have dangerous stowaways. Yeah, okay. So August Perseid meteor shower is known for being amongst the year's most dazzling. There's another one here that comes in this month, I believe. Um, you can find it out there somewhere. I'm not going to tell you the person that let me know who it is. Anybody go over there? Anyway, but a lesser known shower in June could be the most dangerous. The Beta Taurid meteor shower is less well known because it is considered a weak daytime shower that peaks after sunrise, making it very difficult to spot from Earth. But for at least a few decades now, some scientists have suspected that the beta Taurids have made their pressure felt in other ways in the past. Oxford scientists published research in 1993 suggesting that the space rock behind the Tunguska event may have been hiding among a cloud of debris left behind by a comet Enki. Remember Enki? Which is responsible for the Taurids. The little bits of dust and pebbles burn up in our atmosphere are seen as shooting stars. But the researchers said there's a reason to believe that the Enki's dust cloud also harbors bigger boulders, and that it dropped on the that's what they believe, the Tunguska River region in Siberia in 1908. You remember that? All those trees supposedly it blew up before it hit the ground, which is the reason why it had that wide swath of trees just flattened in all directions. At least that's what they're saying. There are other, obviously, conspiracies, ideas, assumptions about what happened there. Some people even believe that we have, how you say it, in the Siberian wilderness, we also have kind of like a planet Earth protection system that is obviously not working right now, or else we would have known about it. Something that pops up out of the ground and maybe shoots lasers or whatever, do weapons at incoming, whatever, to protect the Earth. Some people know that's a story too. It's been on TV, been on Discovery Channel. Very interesting. But in any case, if they can't show me and only have the speculation, idea of it. Show me the evidence, please. We'll get it. So, Wisconsin governor orders rainbow flag to fly over Capitol for the first time in state history. Why are they doing that? What does that have to do with anything of the state or our country? Which those two flags, each state flies their own flag with the American flag above it. What is this thing with flying this rainbow colored flag? I do not get it whatsoever. What does that have to do with any type of government? Whatever. That's all I know is that a lot of the embassies, U.S. embassies, have requested that they also fly the LGBTQ, whatever it is, flag on the embassies, and that was denied. Somebody has common sense. Ridiculous. Somebody tell me what that's supposed to mean. Okay, this is a developing story. Volcanic eruption prompts panic in Indonesia. Oh, man, they got a lot of active volcanoes. A huge sucker. A huge column of ash ash was blasted almost 5 miles into the sky above the Indonesian island of Sumatra after an active volcano erupted. Mount Sinabung blew for 9 minutes. Now that sounds familiar. On Sunday, causing panic among the island residents. You would think those people got off that island by now. I certainly would. Got an active volcano, which is which is the island you're claiming you're on, is the volcano. Anyway, all the volcano's alert level remained unchanged, even though it erupted 5 miles. Whatever. Okay. Maybe that's why the people aren't leaving. They trust your volcano alerts. You didn't raise it, so we can still stay. Oh, lordy, lordy. People. I just want to show you where I get a lot of my news is from this, it's called Fox, Feedbro. Firefox add-on. Anyway, top carologist, that's like giving your body new. Yeah, when I was growing up, there was doctors that would come out and whatever, do their stuff like they normally do. Look into things. And when I was growing up, it was not good to have a whole lot of eggs, okay? And 20 years later, they said it was just fine to have eggs, 4 to 6 a week if you want. I don't know what they're doing now, but I don't come up with many of these stories, people. Just for the fact that I find it disgusting and vile with all this stuff with this LGBTQ thing. I know we got to cover it and keep up to date with it because it's part of this days of Noah, and that's the time that we appear to be in. Things that happen, but some of these stories I will just not talk about. But you have to know, and most of people listen here, they do know that these schools think it's their job, or they are just teaching the children and not telling the parents, probably to show the parents who's really the boss. Yeah, they've taken over the children, but a lot of these parents don't know about these things. So there was a whistleblower who came out and discussed a few of these things, and this is why it's being reported. But it's in California too. I mean, there's so many things going on in California. You probably just want to just chip off that little California and let it float into the Pacific. It's all ruined. Most of our laws and other things come out of California. And unfortunately, they start over here in Connecticut. Yeah, they do. California middle schools now teaching 10-year-olds, okay, about a lot of things. Have any children listening, which you shouldn't, explain that to them in your own time. But they're teaching 10-year-olds. Just think for a second. Where were you when you were 10 years old? What were you doing? I know what I was doing. I was just beginning to be interested in girls, but I was, definitely frightened of them. Shy, whatever you want to talk about, but we weren't doing anything but maybe holding hands, if that. And now these 10-year-olds are going to be taught how to put on condoms and how to have certain types of sexual whatever, using whatever, doing it, whatever. I've read a lot of articles where they actually teach these children and parents, you gotta go find out what they're teaching your children. Some of these children are taught, along with this Islamic stuff and this transgender after school meetings and the satanic ritual signs and classes that go on too. They're teaching these children how to gratify each other and that it's okay to do so. To gratify someone else, not themselves, and probably that too, but no doubt, but no. This is what's going on in the schools with our children and much, much more. Yeah, so same thing here. What this says is, whereas children at this age would have been innocently romping around the playground, jumping rope, playing dodgeball, and climbing across the monkey bars. That's about it. I don't know what the heck's going on. I don't know what they're barking at, but they either got to stop this or go out there and stop that. So here's a link called campusinsanity.com. This is where you'll find most of what's going on in obviously the campuses, children's. What this Polish NGO files landmark censorship lawsuit against Facebook. Well, that was probably about what I wanted to post. Well, sorry, somebody's finally going after them. Somebody big. And our last article here. Yeah, which happened on my way home from work, actually, around 3 p.m., probably before that. But one person dead after a helicopter crashed on top of a building in Manhattan, New York. And the only report got so far is one person dead, and obviously that was the pilot. They had announced originally at first that it was a hard landing, but that's just another word for crashed. Yeah, so confirmed that a helicopter crashed onto the building, which is located at 787 and 7th Street. Fumio said that people who were in the building said they felt the building shake, but that nobody inside had been hurt. Very good. So with that, folks, we're all done here. I will see you all Wednesday, unless I finally come up with these other videos and that done. With that, God bless you all. We need to lift each other up these days, man. A lot of dark stuff is falling all around us. I'm going to stick to Psalms 91. We know this all going to fall around us, but he's still going to have us covered. Covered under the wings of the Almighty. Yep. We're going to be okay. Family is important. So our friends, let's keep an eye on each other. That's about what it comes down to. Keeping an eye on each other, knowing where you can contact your family, your loved ones, whatever, if something goes wrong. even if you can't afford to prep or bug out, um, think about what you're going to do anyway. Hold a some kind of preparation or pre-drill or something like that. Uh, New prepper project out was try it for a weekend. Try turning off the TV, turning off the power, and everything else, and try it for a weekend. All I know is that with a lot of people, especially the ones who are lost, if things happen, if the power goes out for however long, whether it's for a storm, whether it's an EMP, at least if we prep for it and drill for it, it won't hurt as bad. It won't. Just now you'll have to deal with your loved ones. Yeah. Whether you like them or not, right? Well, God bless everyone, and peace out.